Hello everybody, in this video we will explain the mid-unit circle assessment, which is a summative assessment for this unit. Okay, you will be assigned an angle. I will make sure that you know this angle. You will put this angle right here, and you're gonna answer questions about this angle in degrees. The first question is, what is your angle in exact radians? Make your thinking visual, show your work and your thinking on the unit circle below here. Okay, you'll answer question 3, which is draw a reference triangle in the first quadrant is fine for your assigned angle on the unit circle. You'll label the x and y coordinates by putting a text box in here. You can include any work that you need to get those right over here. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing. In 4, it says, explain how you know that the x-coordinate of the point is the cosine of the angle. Make your thinking visual on the unit circle. You may write your response below, but you must explain by making an audio recording that is less than 1 minute. So I want to make sure everyone understands how to make an audio recording. So to answer this question, you'll do your work on the unit circle and you will include some work over here. I highly recommend that you color code a little bit by doing something like, okay, highlight the first part of your work and then maybe change the highlight to get like a middle part and then highlight the conclusion. So when you make an audio recording, you can reference these parts and it makes more sense to me as I'm watching it. So let's say I get all my work done right here and I'm ready to make my audio recording to explain this. I want you to go up here next to the camera. There's this mic button right here that says add audio. Once you click on that, you'll see this on the right. To start, you're gonna click start recording. So this is how it could go here, okay? Why, hello there, Mr. K. In this question 4, I am going to explain how I know that the x-coordinate of the point is the cosine of the angle. And so as you'll see by my yellow highlighter, I first did this, a blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. As you'll see by the 2 green dots, I then went to this level of thinking, and I thought, okay, blah, blah, and SOHCAHTOA this, and blah, blah, blah. And then as you can see, my conclusion by the purple bit is, okay, I know this because blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much for listening. That was beautiful. Now, once I click stop and save, something like this will pop up, and I want you just to bring it down somewhere where there's room in your work. It could be right here. It could be, I don't know, right down here, wherever you want, just so I know that this is your audio recording for this problem here, okay? Now, you'll do the same thing for question 5 when you explain how you know that the y-coordinate of the point is the sine of the angle. Make your thinking visual on the unit circle, right? So you'll do the same thing by showing your work here, color coding it, and then making your audio file, okay? 6 and 7, ask what angle on the unit circle has the same cosine value as your angle. How do you know? Make your thinking visual on the unit circle. And 7 asks, what angle on the unit circle has the same sine value? How do you know? Make your thinking visual on the unit circle. You'll do text boxes here. You'll have different colorings and lines right on this unit circle for both 6 and 7 here, okay? Now that's page 1. If we go to page 2, part 2, which is the solving trig equations, I will give you a value. It'll be one of the values that you've seen, and whatever your value is, you'll put it right here and right here for your 2 equations. And this is just what we've been working on here. How do you solve equations using unit circles and using graphs, putting your answers in degrees and in radians right down here. And it also says to explain in a voice recording how you can see the solution to your equation on the unit circle and on the graph. Your recording should be 1 minute or less. And that's the same thing for the cosine equation right here as well. Okay, that's page 2. And then page 3 is optional. It's only for folks who want to go for the extending option, for the extending grade. Solving more complex trig equations. So here's an equation that I give you. It says solve the following equation, make your thinking visual, make an audio recording explaining your process that is less than 2 minutes long. Now, for this one, you're going to want to make sure your thinking is very visual, very easy to follow. So I gave you a little list here of ideas that you can do. Use the unit circle here. Now, I've made this so that you can move this depending on where you want this in your work. Create a graph using the line features for the X and Y axis. And also show any algebra steps very clearly. The idea for this extending option is how can you make your thinking as clear as possible here, okay? Thank you very much. Let me know when you have questions.